And speaking of social media, I thought it'd be interesting to do a little segment on the massive impact that social media has had on plastic surgery, because it has been pretty dramatic, and it's something that
Can imagine.
I either fortunately or unfortunately have lived through, because when I started my practice in 2010, social media was just kind of a blip on the map. It wasn't really, I mean, it wasn't anywhere near what it is today.
Yeah.
And I think my very first, I didn't do MySpace. I didn't do MySpace. I was just like, it sounds kind of dumb.
Well, MySpace started with only college students being able to. No, that was Facebook. But MySpace, I had one when I was in high school, and then Facebook, you were only allowed to have Facebook when you were in college.
Do you mind me asking? I'm not to. I'm letting people know how old you are. But.
I graduated from high school in 2007.
Okay, so that's about the time that I got on Facebook. I think in 07 or 08.
Yeah, that's whenever I got a Facebook.
I can't remember. So, well, anyway, there's no doubt social media has completely changed our world. Sometimes I wonder if for the better. In fact, I had an interesting conversation the other day with Austin. He's the guy that helps me run the wound clinic. Great nurse. What's up, Austin? And so we were talking about we were talking about college or whatever, and I was like, man, and I said this out loud, not even really thinking what I was saying. I was like, I really am glad I grew up in a time that social media wasn't around, because it just made life simpler to not have everything broadcast 24/7.
Not compare yourself to
Yeah.
every single
was
living
really,
person on the planet.
Right. It was really funny to hear myself say that, because nowadays it's hard for me to imagine life without social media. Maybe not that I would miss it, but just imagine how it would be to go back to the way it was.
Yeah.
But I have to say, as somebody who was an adult during a time without social media, that I kind of liked it better, honestly. So I think there's definitely some positive and negative impacts that social media has had on the world, and I think that trickles down to all aspects of what social media has affected, including plastic surgery. And I do believe plastic surgery has been affected more than a lot of other things, right? Because let's think about industries, plastic surgery versus, say, auto mechanic. And I'm just throwing something out there. Plastic surgery is about image, and it seems like that social media is all about image. So these things are just made for each other versus other specialties or businesses where image is not quite as important. I mean, I just threw auto mechanic. I was trying to think of something where there's not a lot of pictures. But honestly, I've seen social media pages of people working on cars, and that's really popular as well. But the point being that I do believe that social media and plastic surgery have found a lot of synergy together.
Yes,
it's almost like gasoline and a match, right?
Yeah.
They just have really kind of taken off. And it's in my opinion, caused a lot of very positive things to happen and a lot of very negative things to happen. And so I kind of want to just talk about those. I think one of the good things that has come about from plastic surgery because of social media is just the increased awareness. There was a time when plastic surgery had a lot of stigma to it, and say, maybe not you, but maybe a person out there had some issue with their body, and they wanted to fix it, but they just maybe had a bad image of plastic surgery. I personally had a bad image of plastic surgery just from TV and stuff growing up. And when I went to med school, I was like, I'm never going to be a plastic surgeon. I remember literally thinking that. It's like, I would never be a plastic surgeon. That's just shady, which, I mean, you always hear me say it's shady still today, but I had this negative image. And so there might be people out there who really had something that could be helped by plastic surgery that didn't do it because of this stigmatism. And I think social media erased that. It made the awareness more, it decreased.
Acceptable.
It made it more acceptable, right? Because people were talking about it. It also gave people some inspiration. I've seen many pages or, people on social media that talked about their story of plastic surgery, that I have this issue, I'm seeking out a surgeon, I'm now I've booked a surgeon, I'm having my surgery. They're showing their journey.
Yeah.
And, that really can be very effective for people who are considering doing the same thing. And it's something that, was not available to people in the past.
Yeah.
And then lastly, probably to me, the biggest thing that social media has allowed is just the free flow of information. Very similar to, the internet, but in a more kind of directed, personal way. I myself have used social media for years to educate people about plastic surgery, and I feel like I have done that, and that's the whole, how the show even came about, was just trying to educate people.
Yeah.
So there are, I think, a lot of positives, but I do think there's some negatives.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like social media has brought about this, like, I see it, I like it, I want it, I'm gonna buy it.
Oh man,
so
you are so, it's like you're reading my mind. I swear Sarah, you know what, somebody asked me the other day, they said, it was a friend of mine, he said, does Sarah know, every detail about what you're gonna say, or do you just kind of surprise her? And I was like, no, I kind of want her to have like a natural reaction, not like scripted.
Yeah.
But you're still right. It's almost like you did see the script on this one.
Yeah, like I totally agree with you, because like, yes, it came about, well, social media and plastic surgery, it's a good mix because it has that, like, the whole thing, like, if you want it, then get it if it's gonna make you happy. Mental health, positive self-care, all that kind of stuff. Like, yeah, that's great, but like, what happens if that's not enough for people that are like that mentally?
Yep.
And then it becomes like a disease, like these people that have body dysmorphia.
It's like you're reading my card.
Yeah, I did not. And
but
like,
because you're a smart person, and like we've talked about this. So so a lot of the negative things
it just gets worse.
It can be. It does have some potential negative outcomes, and one I think is the unrealistic expectations. We've talked about that before. That there's this kind of tendency in social media for people to only put out like perfect pictures. Things like filters, there's some crazy filters out there.
There are.
That make you look like a movie star. Have you used the Bold Glamour filter on TikTok?
No. Dude, I can't get into my TikTok. I don't know what's happened to it.
Man, I'm not a fan. Oh, I did come off TikTok probation or whatever.
Oh, nice.
I told you like my TikTok was on probation because of my videos about medicine were getting tagged as graphic. Did I tell you about that?
Yes, you did.
That's so annoying. I actually logged on the other day and I found that I'm off probation now. So I still haven't posted in forever. I need to, but anyway, so unrealistic expectations.
Yes.
You hit it, impulsiveness.
Yes.
And I do this too. Like, I've been on social media and I see an ad for something and I'm like, I'm going to buy that. I'm just going to buy it.
Yeah, you're like, I'm tired of seeing this.
Yeah, I'm tired of seeing it. I'm just going to buy it.
Yeah.
So impulsive decisions. Also, when you talk about information, there is the risk of it being bad information. I see that all the time on social media, whether it be plastic surgery or other medical, topics. The big one was COVID.
Yeah.
When COVID hit, there was a just rush of bad information out there on all aspects of it, whether you're for masks, against masks, for vaccines, against vaccines. It was just a bad information smorgasbord. And it was, I don't know how people waded through it. Like, it was just too much. And then lastly, you said it again, the addiction. People, and this can kind of go into people who are creators where they may go get a procedure done and they see this kind of reaction from their followers.
Increase, yeah.
And they're like, I want to do that again. So definitely some potential negative things that have come about from it. What's also interesting is you've seen the rise of social media influencers in their relation with plastic surgery. And we just literally talked about this last week. OnlyFans, right? Mm-hmm. OnlyFans are creators on, I guess OnlyFans is social media.
It is.
It's social media. I was thinking, is it more like a website, like, I don't know. I'm not really sure I was going with that. But, I guess it is considered more, considered social media. And, they are influencers doing their own thing. And the story last week, if you didn't see it, was that there was a place over in the UK it was really kind of like shady. They were offering cut rate plastic surgery and using OnlyFans models to push that. And so the people over in UK were justifiably, concerned with that.
Yeah.
But that's not just, OnlyFans models. I mean, you see that on Instagram. There's, I've had influencers come to me and say, hey, if I come to your place and get a treatment, can I get it for less money to push it to my followers? And I've actually done that before.
Yeah.
With various results. And then you also get people seeking out procedures to look like these influencers.
Yeah.
I mean, we've talked about that before. The cat eyes and Kim Kardashian's booty and, the hollowed out cheeks of Chrissy Teigen. People see these things on social media and then they seek it out.
Yeah, if they could just look like them, their
and I think that
life would change.
Yeah.
They get more followers.
And once again, like when you talk about the influencers, I do feel like it's kind of a yin and yang. Like there are some good things about it. I mean, I don't think there's any problem with influencers using their clout to get services. I don't have a problem with that, nor do I have a problem with the business giving them services for exposure. I mean, that's all well and good. But when you get into kind of that negative aspect of people trying to mimic people they see on social media, I think that becomes a little dangerous.
Yeah.
You're setting that unrealistic, expectation.